Okay, this morning, besides trying not to get the Kung flu, I have received one of my new boards from JLC PCB. This one is basically it's a linear power supply. Lets you build one and put it in almost anything, at least that it'll fit in. It has space for the bridge rectifier, a place for snubber caps, and a place for a very large capacitor, or if you're going to be using this on something that doesn't need as big of a capacitor, there's also a very small one, and space for a bleeder resistor. I will not be building anything with snubber caps. I did some research on them, and unless you're an audiophile or you got some weird special deals you need for, I don't know, I couldn't find any reason to do it. So anyways, we're going to be building two of them. One is a high voltage one and one is a low voltage one. Those are about the only things that I would ever be hooking up. And so we'll start with the high voltage one, and for that we are using a pole from power supply, a KBU 810. This is a 8 amp 1000 volt rectifier, full bridge rectifier. And then we are using a 470 microfarad 450 volt electrolytic, which this is a snap-in type, and I've got it marked with polarity. So make sure that polarity is good. And then for a bleeder capacitor, I have a 1 watt 20K. According to a calculators I've seen online, that should be sufficient. It'll bleed it slowly. I think it's over. On this one it'll take more than 2 minutes, but on this one I think it'll be a lot faster. Don't remember off the top of my head. The traces on here, there are dual traces on the top and on the bottom of the circuit board. And according to the calculations I did, I believe it can handle 9 amps, but I limited this to 8. Just have it written on there. So we're going to set that one aside, and now we're going to put this one together. This is also an 8 amp rectifier, but it's only rated to 200 volts. And this is also a pole from this is a pole from a power supply, computer power supply or something. Okay, so what we have here is a 30 volt AC center tapped transformer, which should put out approximately 42.5 volts DC. I'm not going to permanently solder these in here. It's just to test it. Let's see, can you see that? No. Alright, now you can. Alright, so let's make sure nothing is where it's going to short. Drop my phone on the floor. And so this is 10,000 microfarads, 50 volt. And we're going to start this out kind of low. So I got about 65 or so volts. Make sure that this is correct. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to solder that. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so the astute of you would have probably noticed that I had my voltmeter set to AC, which is why I wasn't getting a reading. It was also a good idea that I had not brought the voltage all the way up because I wasn't paying attention. This is 30 volt center tapped, which means it's 30 volts on each side of the yellow connectors, which would have put 70 volts into this, and 70 volts going through would have put out almost 100 volts, which would have blown that capacitor. I don't want to put on a show, so anyways, I've done the center tap, so now it's just 30 volts going in. So I'll give it some power, and we get 40.9 volts. No, it's not even warm because it's not drawing anything. So I'll turn off power, and the bleeder resistor is going to slowly drop the voltage. Alright, I'm going to connect the other one up and we'll come back and measure that. Okay, so we're back, and this time we have, because this is able to handle 450 volts and this can handle 200, I've got both yellow connectors from this putting a total of 60 volts, and 60 times 1.414 equals, I'm sorry, it's actually about 85 volts that we should be getting out. So let's move that over out of the way. Turn it on. We did not blow up. Ooh, 82 volts. And that could be because when I measured this transformer, my line voltage was a bit higher. So let's turn off the power. Check the bleeder resistor. And that's bleeding a lot faster. So there you go. My little homemade, or my ordered PC boards work. I can use these in anything I want. I've got 5 of them, and I can always order more. That's it. Thanks for watching.